Hey, welcome back to another episode of Talking Shit ATL with your hosts, Amanda Ellenberg.
And I'm Prodigy Q.
And then we do have Ted in the middle for you today. Being good. Yes, he's a good boy. He looks crazy. I'm going to give him a bath this week. Yes, I am. Oh my God, your beard looks extra crazy right now. And that's going, yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, so we have a heavy one today. Before we start, we'll just say that everything being said today is all alleged. We are not the people in these stories, so we only have the knowledge that is shared to us. And there has been a lot of speculation of whether this was true at all. Like the biggest resource we found of whether it was completely made up or not, and the person who shared this story with us allegedly cannot speak to it because she is no longer with us. So today we're going to be talking about Diddy.
Yes, to Diddy. Diddy. I know everybody knows that it's definitely in the news and for a while now. Circumstances and situations. Again, all allegations, and of course we always got to say, he deserves his due and just his right for a fair, speedy trial. As these things do kind of come out and uncover, and I'm actually really anxious and excited to for this to start coming out, because I'm not gonna lie, once these court hearings and stuff start happening, I hope they're public, most of the public record, but whether or not they will do video in the courtroom or not, or we're just gonna have to get correspondence from his reps. But I'm really anxious to see, so I do plan on tuning in, especially if they do it like I got a Thug right now where it is live and you can see, I plan on tuning in, because I think that, because the thing about the feds is, when the feds come get you, the feds don't come get you unless they have proof. There's enough evidence.
Yeah, so if it's the amount of evidence that Diddy has said that there are videos to people that he's close to, if there really are all those videos out there, whew.
Yeah. And a lot of it, of course, is used, to solidify, his power, using those things again to be able to kind of have that kind of leverage and control over people.
Say, well, you were involved in it too, and I have proof.
Right, again to mainly of course leverage his career, his, the thing about Diddy and a lot of these things and the situations, is that, I've always seen him as that kind of a opportunist, just even as far as the deals he's made. I mean, he's, until recently when all the stuff, kind of started coming out, and I guess to kind of save face, he gave a lot of, the rights and stuff, publishing rights back to his artists and those kind of things. But but for the most part, that's not the case. And most of the deals he did with all of his artists were horrible deals. None of them got they mastered. That's what I mean, they masters and stuff like that. Just horrible deals. Mostly, if you notice, everybody that was under him pretty much, if you notice, had 2 albums, 3 maybe. You know what I'm saying? It's and
then they can't go anywhere else because the contract ends if all this is true, which I personally believe, because victims don't normally come forward unless it's true. There are rare occasions where someone comes forward for fame or money, but that's super rare. This is super hard shit to go through in life, and something so horrific, and it takes so much strength and bravery, especially against someone so powerful, to even speak out. So I can't help but believe everything they're saying.
And I agree too, because and it's one of those things once. Because, rumors about him have circled around for years. And even the freak-offs and stuff that, people hear about now. But that's always been kind of a running joke with Diddy, about Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Just for years. Prior to, so it's not I don't think any of us are really surprised in many circumstances. But I think when you look at when you start really looking at like the specifics and the who, that's where it's really more surprising.
Yep.
You know, it's like, oh, you know, Diddy was, you know, we having a little freak off. Okay, we been through that. Yeah, but he been doing this with this person, that. And then it's like, oh, well, I didn't know. You know, I didn't know it was that deep. And, you know, we'll be sharing stuff and reading stuff. This is a book that just came out. It was like, I want to say September 5th. It dropped on Amazon. It's entitled Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side by Jamal T. Millwood for Kimberly A. Porter. Now, there is, again, speculation whether or not this book is real, whether or not these are really her words. You know, apparently, even Jamal T. Millwood is like a alias name for one of her friends, because, again,
it wasn't her friend, but it was her friend that gave it to
book. Yeah. So, you know, it was a friend to a friend type of thing. But, you know, they're the alias of that. And that's the thing where apparently before she passed, she gave a lot of, you know, information and thumb drives and stuff with these words to various friends that if anything did happen to her, you know, that they would put it out. So I guess this was a time where everything was coming out, and this particular friend, you know, gave it and was like, okay, you know, this might be the best time to do it, you know, so that, again, her, you know, again, if it's true, her words and her situation and her experience can be shown, which is, again, you know, based off of like what she wanted, and even, you know, things that's in this book is what she really wanted. She wanted the story to get out. She wanted people to know. And
never wanted to be as deep as she got and was forced to be.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where, because even in the book, you know, it's one of those things where you play devil's advocate on both sides of it. You know, so I think there was a certain line, which, again, the book, this book, and again, if this is real, she speaks about kind of when that moment for her was like the tipping point. But it was one of those things to where, again, I mean, you know, there's still some accountability, you know, on her part too, where she participated in a lot of these things knowingly prior to it being like, okay, now it's too much, you know. But I think, again, from that, once it became too much, to where it was like,
manipulators are just so good at convincing you everything's okay and that you're not doing anything wrong and that, like, you're never going to get caught. And it's just like, so even in the beginning, before she had that, like, turning point, my blame is on him. None of it's on her for me.
I mean,
but at the same time, I mean, it's hard because a little bit is on whoever was around him and saw all this and didn't speak up. At the same time, when you have things like this where allegedly he's threatening their life and their family's life, then it's like, well, how much blame can you put on a person caught in that situation?
And for me, I think that's what I'm saying. Like, that's where it is. I think when it comes to her role in participating, I think that was active, and she mentioned many times how she thoroughly enjoyed it too. You know what I mean? You know, so, but I think when it comes to, we separate we separate kind of the what from the what from the what. You know what I mean? Like, we separate the freak offs and what they do in their bedroom is one thing, and that was consented. Cool, versus, okay, like I said, now we crossed it to, you threatening my family for it, you threatening my livelihood. You know, she has, had a son, you know what I mean? And again, he never threatened the son, but again, as a mother, you got to be protective of your, child, especially during this time when she was writing this, where, her son was young and little, so it was those things like, okay, now you threaten me, which is going to have an effect on my, you know what I'm saying? So her would need and want to move, especially again, when a lot of the other things that, he allegedly may have had parts in those things, certain deaths and, the whole 9 yards. I will kind of talk about the freak offs and stuff really quickly in regards to that, starting there, and then we'll kind of talk about other things and jump around. But I will say, again, with that part, where, there's no crime in that. So I know a lot of times, especially like right now, they're talking about the oil and the lubes and all this stuff. It's like, at the end of the day, those things are weird and strange, but So I don't think that he's going to, see any charges and stuff. And I think his lawyers are going to be able to fight that and even maybe eradicate it out, because at the end of the day, like, his sexual choices and desire, you know what I'm saying? I get it. And I granted, second time too, there are a lot of people coming out saying he was sexually assaulted, which is one thing.
And drugged.
In that.
But that's just so hard to prove this far down the line. That's what sucks about, like, how they determine, like, rape kits and stuff. I think you have to go back in within, like, 24 hours, 48 hours or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's no time.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that earlier today, of how, like, I wish the second time I would have gone and gotten a rape kit, but I had to act immediately.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then it's all this stuff proving after that, because sometimes they're like, well, how do you know that's him? Like,
right. How do you, all the BS stuff.
Yeah.
You sure it was? You sure it was? How do you know if you really were drunk? How do you know it really was?
Yeah.
And then try to trip people.
I think he slipped something in my drink. I was thinking about that today.
Oh, really?
So he got us drinks from the bar. And I went from 0 to blackout real quick. And I was asleep when it happened.
So, that stuff, which I do think that's great. That, and if those things are true, I think that, maybe the tapes will probably show some of that evidence, where they could then, get them for that. But there are people who, recently came out and said there's, I was reading one the other day, a lady came out saying, of course, she was assaulted, but then she's, assaulted and drugged and all this stuff. But she was like, it went on for 4 years, and it's like, and it's weird,
But it's like, even in the book, though, when allegedly Kim saw what she did, then he threatened her life. He was like, you cool? And he was like, if you're not, you're out of here.
Right.
Right.
That's one of those things I don't know. It's one of those things
where brings flowers and says, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I love you so much. You're so special to me.
Those are, you already know those are manipulative narcissistic tactics for sure. Yeah. For sure. So I don't know. I don't know where they're going to find the lines of that, where they may again, and I never want, and I never say in any point, and I never want to be misunderstood that I ever feel like it's any victim's fault. You know what I mean? Regardless of, situations or what, because again, yes is yes and no is no, and no can be no at any point, even if you heard 1,000 yeses. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I never want to say, well, I don't know what's that. You put, it's just one of those. It's because again, you never know whether he was threatening or not. Yeah. And I feel like that's good. That's one of the things that the court and the juries are going to have to really kind of wing through, and especially the jury, to figure out, okay, how much is it, not that you completely, like, say, want it to be there, but somebody.
But the defense is going to make a case.
Yeah, you're right.
You're
right. You said you're right. You know what I'm saying? Because
they're going to make a strong case. He has so much money
over 4 years. It's like, well, you kept going. After 4
years.
Exactly. You kept answering the phone. You know what I'm saying? I would have, if you don't got that kind of ties to me, listen, I would have been. Now, granted, at the same time, they say he's very powerful. She said it herself. He had police. They were saying that he had police officers on payroll. You know what I'm saying? They would be police officers and stuff at these parties, like standing guard or outside.
I didn't realize that. I know they had security, but I didn't realize, like, full on police officers. Yeah, she said he got police officers. He got, you know what I'm saying? Like this I will say that in his manipulation and his game and the connism was I won't say smart and genius, but he was really calculated in how he did what he did, and you know what I'm saying, like making sure. Again, you got to start people on payroll, when you can't pay them, then you use fear, tactics, and he did it the right way to do the wrong
thing. Yeah, is right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
he could just get away with it forever. I mean, this is like 30 years in the making.
Yeah, and it's a lot of people. I mean, you're talking about 300 tapes. Right? 300 tapes is a lot of capades. Yeah. A lot of capades, a lot of individuals. And again, you're talking about. You let people know, hey, you do this, you join this, then I can put you on. I can, I can get you into this. He was really orchestrating people's careers and things based off of the engagement.
And then you just see him like happy and smiling. You don't know like the horrible parts of him until you cross that line.
Yeah, right. And
so it's like, oh, I'm just gonna have sex with him once and make a deal, and then I'll be good. But that's like, not. Right. Now it's like, well, I gave you a deal, so now you owe me. Whenever I want.
And then now you're in the loop of it. You know, because there's been stories. You know, people coming out, bodyguards been coming out sharing stories. You know, I mean, so
many people are being so brave right now, but at the same time, I'm so scared because I know people with power and money have gotten away with so much, and people are like, he's locked up, so I'm good. But what if he's not locked up at some point?
Right. And that's the, you know.
Like, how are they going to protect themselves? It's hard because I want people to come forward, but it's just like.
Yeah. That's because, again, like, a lot of that stuff, they're probably, you know, especially because he got some sharks. You know, he got the money. He does have the money, so he's going to be able to pay for top lawyers. You know, and there are lawyers that have video evidence of you committing the murder, and they still get people off. You know, if they find those technicalities, so there's always a chance that, you know, some of these things may get swept in the rug, which is, again, the sex stuff may get swept. Now, the things that may be harder to beat, and it's going to be unfortunate that what may happen is a lot of this stuff may literally get swept in the rug, but the stuff that they're going to that's really going to stick, unfortunately, is going to be the drugs and the guns.
Yeah.
And, you know, and those will be.
They'll get a little bit because of Cassie's video. But that's all they have to go off of, and that wasn't even that bad compared to all the other things that he did.
And depending on, too, the stipulations of that, because...
And it was so long ago.
Because they did settle.
Yeah, exactly.
Recently they settled it.
Yeah.
So it could have been in that settlement to where, you know, she has a, you know, what's the word? You know, she can't speak.
I'm just thinking NDA, but but also the defense might be able to be like, that was a separate trial that's already done. You can't do a retrial.
Yeah, but she might you know can't talk about it, so you can't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? It was because it's part of an old case. She, you know, depending on what they said. So I don't know if they're gonna. I really don't think and don't see, because of those things. I don't see and believe that they're gonna bring her on to be a witness. Unfortunately, because, again, it was settled and all that, so they're gonna have to go after the new people who are coming up. You know, they're gonna have to really, you know.
And a lot of them don't have power. The big heavy hitters that he has in his life ain't saying shit.
Right, and ain't saying nothing because, again, they probably was there, especially because even in this book they was dropping some major names. Yeah, major names,
and they didn't even drop more names. And then we both had seen a video with Justin Bieber where he said we were gonna get like Butt Wild.
Yeah. He was
not even Buck Wild.
Yeah, it was like Butt Wild. He's like, we gonna get Butt Wild. He's like,
and
I
he's
got
15,
16.
Yeah.
He's like, I got custody over for 48 hours. And
got custody of Usher when he was 16. He was talking about that.
Yeah. But he had,
so I wonder what happened with Usher. And then if it happened with Usher, then that would explain all the rumors about him grooming Justin, because he was literally told and manipulated and groomed himself. Exactly. And he thought that was just the process of how everything happened. Exactly. So, like, if this is all true, then I definitely have, although there's still, like, anger of, like, you shouldn't have done it, it's hard when a perpetrator was also the victim of the same thing.
Yeah. And of course, there's those things, because there's old footage that, you know, came up where he's talking about, you know, when we was younger, you know, we would, you know, wake up in the morning and fight, you know what I'm saying, fight over cereal. And it was so, because he said it, and then, of course, everybody looking like, kind of like pause, like, what? You know what I mean? Because it was like that, and then he tried to, like, kind of backpedal it, that type of thing, too, because he, like, he tried to backpedal it, but it was kind of already, you know what I'm saying, you know, all the things, you know what I'm saying, you know, no homo, no, you know what I'm saying, but it's like, nah, bro, you know what I'm saying, you already.
Wait, how was that homo? They're fighting over cereal.
But it was the way he's like, yeah, we would wake up, you know, we would wake up in the morning out of bed, and then we would go, you know, wrestle over cereal. And it's like, even still, Paul, like, he was 16, like, what you wrestle, you know, what.
And with who?
Usher. This was Usher.
He was talking about Usher. But was he wrestling with Diddy?
This was Diddy, because Diddy and Usher was together. So like, what? Type of thing. So he was like, yeah, you know, this is my boy here. You know what I'm saying? We used to wake up in the morning, bed.
Oh, Diddy said it.
Yeah, and he tried to backpedal it, kind of thing, because you know what I'm saying, it was one of those things like, he tried to backpedal it, but he was like, nah, bro.
And that's one thing I didn't like in this book, that he like slapped Kim's son on the butt.
Yeah, that was weird.
She said he gave him a love tap and said, like, good night.
Right.
You should not be touching... Honestly, I feel like you shouldn't even be touching your own children on the butt, because that's just going to enforce that in them that adults can do that. Mm-hmm. But definitely, I don't care if you think it's your child, if you feel like it's your child, or you've been there since day one.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Weird. I thought that was weird to me too. I read it too. I was like, oh no, red flags. And it was something that she said, but she didn't say like it wouldn't be, because she was like, yeah, like I never. She like up until that point, because she said in the book, she's like, up until that point, I never suspected him of anything with the son, but she never. Yeah. But she never went into any details about like
exactly.
Yeah, about anything like more than that, because so that was weird to me in that statement, because it was like, why up to that day you never questioned, and then when did you question, or did you ever question, or you know what I'm saying? But she doesn't mention that, you know, she doesn't go into that, you know, as far as this book goes, you know, he's never done anything.
I think part of it is the last page where she's like, I want the world to know, but I really want my kids to know, so I don't think she wants to say anything that's going to be like embarrassing or bad for them.
Yeah, and I felt like that too, because the son put out a statement.
I saw that.
And it was like, you know, the book is not real, da da da. Mm-hmm. But I felt like if this was true, from what she said in the book, of course you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
The whole thing she was trying to do was to protect you.
Yeah.
You
and she literally made it so that she was always home when you woke up. Yeah. And that shit wasn't going down while you were there.
Right.
And that's the one way that, for the most part, besides a couple of times, that he did actually do the right thing and not bring the son into it based on what we read.
But I feel like that too, because I same time I feel like at some point though it happened and things happened, because I felt like if you were doing it with Bieber and Usher and it's every 15-year-old's dream, then what did you do with your sons when they turned 15?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I be thinking about. Like, oh, listen, y'all men now.
How old was he when she died? Hold on. Her son.
He was like 20. He like 20 something. Yeah, because she just passed away
in 2018.
5 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Oops, I put son the sun out in the world.
I think he gotta be like in his 30s.
He's 33. Quincy Brown.
Yeah. So she was. So he was what, 20? Was that 27?
Yeah, so he was he was older at that point, but
so I said she just passed, so
yeah,
so
but so still it's like I just, and that's what's so annoying isn't even the right word, but that's what's so frustrating about how society and different cultures just hate people being gay with a burning passion, where it creates situations like this where someone wants to express their sexuality, they're so mad and so sexually repressed and so scared of people finding out that they're going to go to extremes.
Somebody else, I saw a post with somebody else commentating on the situation as well, and said that same thing, like, you know, had they, you know, they felt that same way, like had he would have been able to express himself in that way, especially of course during that time, and again, you know, we're a lot more, you know what I'm saying, advanced than we were 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
More,
marriage wasn't even legal. Gay marriage wasn't legal.
Right. You know what I mean? So we come so far than we were then, but at that time it was that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, those stereotypes were. I mean, it was, you know, it's better now, but then, you know what I'm saying? Like then it was like you couldn't be. You had the derogatory terms. You had. You know what I'm saying? If there's the inkling, you know what I'm saying? You got, especially as being a, you know, in the hip hop world, we're supposed to be, you know, rap and hyper masculine and all these things anyway, you know.
Like control over women.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's
like,
to be seen in that way, especially again in hip hop and thug culture and all that, like, you know, it's not even supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, but, so I think with the times, but I don't know, I think that, you know, ultimately it's one of those things that I think, you know, may happen to him too. Because, like, I didn't know, you know, the whole thing, like, with him and Clive Davis and stuff, you know, because I mean, I was talking about, like, Clive used to have the parties and stuff before too, you know, and I never knew their relationship until, like, this. And it was like, because I didn't know that they were business partners. I didn't know that Clive Davis was owner and helped build Bad Boy. Never knew that. So, because I was trying to figure out, I knew they had dealings there, but I never knew how. So I was like, how did they, you know, they, he'd do one thing and he'd do something completely different, When were they ever in the same room together type of thing? And then when I found out, I was like, oh, now that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That makes sense. And apparently, there's some things going between them two, allegedly, again, in this book mentioned. But, and maybe that's where it happened, because then she alludes to the fact of, oh, why don't you allow him to do it like he's been doing? And then, slap for it, type of thing. Because it seemed like in the beginning of the book, she talks about kind of him wanting her to do various things to him, as an experimenting and, type of thing. And then, I get to a point where for him too, I understand, because you finally get somebody who, again, in the beginning where she said she was uncomfortable, at some point in time, you kind of, okay, it's, you like it, and you find somebody that's like, oh man, I got somebody willing to explore that with me in that way. I'm trying to hold on to it,
Yeah. And you're trying to get her to not tell anybody else.
Right, for sure. For sure. A lot of it was right. It was definitely that. But, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm interested to hear all the people mention that they have like X's over people's names in the book. But I'm interested to see about the people that they mention by name, and do any of them come up.
Yeah.
And especially, I would hope that Kimura would come up, because
that's what I was thinking too, right?
She's like
she was there. And
I have the page pulled up about her. Which event was it? It was some like
awards,
like
right?
like some award show. And they had gone over there and talked, and apparently she was like like Sean Tupac thinks, and Kadada was like, Sean Tupac thinks you were involved in him getting shot. You two were so close, you need to make this right. And then was like, can you blame him for this? Like, yeah, he did. Basically saying he killed him, or he was involved in killing him. And then Kimura came over and was like, so y'all kind of loud, everybody can hear, so maybe like talk about it another time, because apparently everyone at that award show was looking and whispering, and that's what I want to hear from. I want to hear from one of them, or I want to hear from someone that had gone to the award show that had overheard things. Like, I want to hear from the people in, like, celebrities in the community,
right? And that's why I'm waiting for it too, because I think those are the things that's going to bring whether or not these things are true, because it do name drop quite a few people to where it's like that. You want to hear the, you want to hear them corroborate these stories so that we then know it is authentic, which we haven't heard yet. And those things, again, like I said, since the situation, since has happened, Hollywood has been quiet. Since this book has come out, Hollywood has been quiet.
And that is always, honestly, a bad sign.
It's a bad sign.
Because they're all scared and scrambling. They're all trying to cover their own ass for what they were involved in. And then they're all trying to decide, like, is he actually going to get locked up? So can I actually go forward with this? Right.
And it's a lot. And right now we don't know, because I don't know if they set, trial dates yet or any of those things. I do know, he did try to, request a $50 million bond, and the judge denied, which was, I think, was a beautiful thing too, because I think, especially when you got issues where he may
go out and threaten people.
Yeah, especially because once both sides have to share what they have. You know what I mean? And him being at the part of that. So once they say, oh yeah, you got to say what witnesses we got. You know what I mean? So then that gives him a great list, especially he out. Oh, they said this person talking, this person.
But if he's that powerful, he can use a phone and figure something out, because a lot of people have like illegal phones in jail too.
And listen, and those things can be possible too.
Or you can talk to a guard and let them get, like,
and there's a lot of things.
That's what's scary.
Because we just never know how it comes out too. Because at the end of the day, it could be so many people that's wrapped up in it to where, quote unquote, the rumors, speculations, and the fear is that he may, be Epstein in a way, and so then depending on what he has and who may be trying to silence him, I saw things saying that where they was like, there was a rep speaking that saying that, he's, you know, he hasn't been eating. You know what I'm saying? Because he's afraid, you know, somebody poisoned his food and, you know, all this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if he poisoned all these people, of course he's scared that he'll get poisoned back. It's like, it literally in the book, there was one point where he held a gun to her face, allegedly, and said, like threatened her, but then afterwards was like, I'd never kill you with a gun.
Right. Like,
I would poison you, or I would have somebody else take you out. Like, I would do all these other things.
Like, this was just for dramatic effect.
Yeah,
what?
I know.
What?
I know. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That is
crazy. That is insane.
And her son was like sleeping. Like that's the one time.
And I will say, like, you know, I never really followed any of them. I mean, of course, I knew, of course, Diddy more than her. For sure, you know, just because of things. So, but I will say...
because he cut off all her connections and ways of getting movies.
Right.
Allegedly.
But I will say, from what I see...
that producer also died from pneumonia.
Yeah, if the book is true, and these are her words for sure, I will say that, listen, this was a strong woman. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? This was a very, very strong woman who had to undergo some things, be meticulous, like, and she was able to get away and stay away, you know? And for those who may know, don't know, I mean, like I said, this thing is really big. Like, there's so many layers to the Diddy thing. Like, again, where you may be hearing and see a little bit, but this thing goes back because there's so many layers that's literally spanned over, you know, 30 years. Like, even what she was talking about before, you know, we know that what started the East Coast rap beef was because Tupac and Biggie happened to be in the same recording studio, and Tupac was shot. And he said that they remember seeing Diddy and somebody, you know what I'm saying, somebody else, or seeing somebody from the camp. They remember seeing them. It was like before or whatever. Because apparently, also when Tupac went down the elevator, it opened up. And then when he opened up, that's when he saw Diddy. You know, the movies talk about this. The Biggie movie mentioned it. So that part we do know is a fact, right? So now it comes back.
And if you cared about your friend and you saw them like dying, basically, you would act and do something. Right. If you're involved, then you wouldn't. Right. So I think that's like screaming in itself.
And that's what started this. But and that's what she was talking about, because apparently it was, from what she was saying, was that yes, Diddy did initiate that hit in that recording studio to kill Tupac. Mm-hmm. But we know Tupac survived. Tupac lived, which was happening. So now that's what fueled the beef now, because Tupac mind is, and that you look at these effects of, like, that's what the thing that got me with the books, because it was, you know, we know the timeline, right? And then when this book like really put in like the behind pieces,
it filled in all the gaps.
It really did. So it was like, yo, like, because again,
where it's like, how could this not be true? Right, honestly,
because Pac was going to do his own thing. Apparently, Pac and Biggie was going to do their own thing together, which also resulted in why Biggie was unalive. But Pac, Biggie was doing his own thing. They was going to go to he was planning on signing to a different label. He didn't know who. And Suge was after him too, with other people. Once once you know the shooting happened, all that fueled it. Tupac went to jail. When Tupac went to jail, that was when, you know, I guess by him having that time and him feeling like, fuck it, like they try to kill me, that was when he decided to sign with Death Row instead. You know what I'm saying? And then, so, you know what I'm saying? So literally we can look at the effects of it. So it's like, so it's true at the same time, even though his attempt wasn't successful, because of that, it led to everything that still resulted in Tupac's demise. Because again, had none of that happened, he would have never with Bad Boy, I mean with Suge, which means that he would have never been with Suge, which means he would have never been at that fight, which means he would have never been in that car.
Yeah.
You know? And it still is wild, like just how it, you know, those small threads of like just fit together and make. And
then Biggie's mom and everything, that whole conversation was wild.
Was wild.
I hope she's okay. And that's what I've been thinking about too, is like all the victims mentioned in this, and I hope that they are okay and all right and safe during this time and have like extra protection.
Yeah.
Because, like, especially since this has gone out, I mean, she point blank apparently asked him, "Did you kill my son?"
Right.
Like, and then wouldn't give her any of the money that was his and was like, it's a legal thing.
It's a legal thing, right?
My hands are tied.
And not even a legal thing. What he said? I mean, technically speaking, he might owe me money.
I know.
I was like, damn, like, what's that to say to somebody's mama?
I know. Like, for real. He was like, I pay for this and this and this. So actually, he probably owes me something. Like, and then she was like, how dare you?
How dare you? Like, the man is going number one. So for you to say that,
for him to say any of that and not show any like, I'm so sorry you're going through this. I will figure out whatever I need to help take care of you.
Right. It's crazy. Especially because he didn't seem like he got hurt or felt hurt until she said, I don't believe you. And then he was like, the kid was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? My own mama, you know. Not like, this is his mom, but he probably looked at her, you know, like, dang, like, that'd be hurtful. But I think it's also that reality, like, because at the end of the day,
it hit him like, I gotta act like I care.
Because at the end of the day, it's like, you didn't pull the trigger and you didn't put out a hit, but what you did do was you knew and you sent him to a place and then you literally offer no protection. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, well, you know, I'm not going to protect you and whatever happened to you.
And you knew it was going to happen. And you knew it was
going to happen. And then so it's like you inadvertently
put out the hit.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm going to put you in this situation. I'm going to just turn a blind eye, and then when the dogs get you, then, you know what I'm saying? And it's also crazy. It's also conniving because then you make a song about him. You do all this stuff. You know, that went number one for weeks. He's like, I'm
about to make money off this stuff.
Number one for weeks. Like, that song, I think that was one of the most, like, popular songs. Like, that song, like, that song went, like, it was on charts for weeks. Like, it did it did a long time. Number one. Like, all of this. And meanwhile, you know, but he said that same thing. Like, this man, you know, if he's going to leave me, you know what I'm saying? He felt like he built them, he made them, even though really it's the other way around, because nobody knew who you were until Biggie. You the one who was the back of his video. You the one who showed your face. You the one making sure you on the track. You know what I'm saying? So really, and he knew that. He did know that. That's why he was talking about the book. Like,
a narcissist will never believe that they're...
I'm under the shadow of this artist, and I need to figure out how to get under his side. And that's what he did and found a way to do, and got himself caught up in these things because apparently too. Yeah. Well, I ain't talk about no dead man, but apparently Biggie was doing some stuff too, and
I mean it's like how could they not be doing at least a little bit of what everything he was doing if they were around him all the time?
Right. And apparently too, like when they start, saying maybe the whole marriage and the whole thing between Faith and Biggie was like pretty much orchestrated, and he pretty much made her be with him to watch. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy because they got a kid together. Like, it's crazy to think like.
She had been with Diddy too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so.
With Diddy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, all the things, because again, she was trying to get, she's trying to get her shine. She's trying to get a spotlight, which worked for her. She got a music career.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She did get a deal out of it.
Yeah. I don't know how I never noticed his eyes before. Because I literally swipe yes or no on dating apps based on someone's eyes. Yeah. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, your eyes really are the key to your soul.
Mm-hmm. I think he wore glasses. I remember
he wore glasses
a lot.
So much.
I didn't know either.
Probably because he was fucked up and then also evil. Yeah. Like, honestly, I know it's alleged and we're saying this is just our opinions. But from my opinion, his apology video seemed so fake. Mm-hmm. I didn't believe a single word that he said. And I wanted to sit there and believe him. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like I was like, immediately no. Like, I wish, I hope with everything inside of me that none of this is true. Mm-hmm. But it feels like it is.
I feel like it is. Like I said, I mean, and again, I think for a lot of people, that Cassie video did do it. Mm-hmm. Like, because that was insane. Like, you can say she was literally like trying to run for her life. Like they was stuff like, listen, let me tell y'all something, folks. When y'all trying to get away, no, man, I know you probably on pimp flow, but always the steps, always the stairs.
Yeah.
Like, never the elevator, never ever.
For
ever. Real. Like, you get up every time. The elevator, because you gotta wait on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Go down the steps. At least get down the steps 3-4 floors, and then hit the elevator.
And you gotta change routes a little bit, but
like. Because that elevator got up waiting for her at the top. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while to come in.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's so easy to stick a hand in the elevator and stop it.
Yeah, but that was so sad. So I think that.
But I know, like, during those moments, like, your brain, like, just honestly isn't working.
Yeah.
Because you're just so scared and on fight or flight.
Right, flight. Yeah, and you can tell she was definitely on flight. And he had no fight in it, clearly.
Yeah.
But I mean, so it does make, and again, the same thing. And I feel bad for her. I really do, because 10 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, Kat seems so.
She was doing great before him
right.
too.
That's one thing. Like, I can't never say what a is capable of doing and or not doing. Did I see that in her? Not really, but again, I don't know her personally, so I can't really say. But
wait, did you see what in her?
That kind of person, like, you know what I'm saying, like she just always seemed like just nice and like innocent, and you know what I'm saying, kind of thing, versus using her in the way he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just seemed like that wouldn't be something that she would just really would have kind of really went for if it wasn't for, and it probably was one of those things too. Again, it was just try it. You know what I'm saying? Or it's just, maybe it's just another girl, or it's just another.
Yeah.
We don't, and then eventually it's like you got, which it's just weird. That's just crazy to me. Like, if I got somebody I care about, it's just like, how am I setting this stuff up to allow other people to just use and have it? Like, it's just crazy,
I really hope that freaking J-Lo says something, because it's wild that everything I found was saying he didn't treat her like this. He didn't treat her like this. He knew that she would go up and she had the power, and he knew that she would go and tell somebody and get his ass locked up.
Which is true, because even in the book she says that when he went J-Lo, he was one of those like, hey, I'm just a publicity thing. I'm doing it because there's a lot of heat on me, and I need the I broke our relationship is whatever, so I need this to kind of.
Yeah.
So I think that their relationship was more an arrangement, because she already had a name for herself, already had people, and
but
her,
the way she talks about it, I saw an interview where she was talking about how much she cared about him, and that they've always been friends, but like after the shooting, like she just didn't want to be around a crowd like that. Mm. She didn't say anything super specific, but like, it sounded like in that video, at least, you never know, but it sounded like she still had love for him, even if there was some sort of publicity thing. Like, she still deeply cared about him and wanted to protect him.
It made me so, because again, once that situation happened, that was when their relationship ended. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Quickly, because again, she had a brand of her own and herself that. You know what I'm saying? She by this point she already did Selena. She had already did. I think by this point she was also, her music career was now about to start taking off. So I'm pretty sure her people was like as just for your sake and your brand, so you don't want to be, especially because of that especially that situation too. Because again, it's allegedly about her involvement truly in that moment. Where some people say it was actually her the one who did it, and some people say or she the one who gave the gun to Puff, or she the one, what I'm saying. Like, I remember when it first came out, like it was a whole thing between her or him and who did what. Who.
Well, even in the book, it sounds like they were talking about how she was kind of like she was involved. She was like, how do I get this to not be on me?
Right, and that's what and I don't know, but I do remember that, and that lady survived. And they did shoot that lady in the face. And then Sean went to jail.
That's wild to get shot in the face and survive.
Yeah, it was wild. Like, that's why they didn't get a murderer to the murder.
Yeah.
But they put it on Sean, because when I remember when the story came out, it was like, where he even came from? I remember that, because I remember thinking like, all the stories come like, yeah, they was at a party, da 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 da.
I was wondering where it came from in the book.
What?
Like, he had just popped up at one point.
Oh, talking about mentioning him?
Yeah.
Oh, because it was a major.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah, it was
but it was like, I was like, we haven't heard any stories, and then he just popped out of the blue.
But that's also how he came out. When Sean came out to the scene, it was like that. He popped out the blue, and he had that one song. He had like maybe 1 or 2 songs, and I'm talking, as soon as his career started, it was over. Like, legit, it was like he had a little moment. He had to shine. You know what I'm saying? He had that. He had his songs, like 1 or 2 singles. Then this situation happened. Like, as soon as he was rising, and then the man in jail. It was so quick. Like, that time it was so fast. Like, it was so crazy. But it's true, because again in the book he's like, well, don't worry. We can pay him off. He's gonna take the blame. They're like, well, how you know? He's like, don't worry about it. And sure enough, to this day, Sean just got out, 2 years ago?
Wonder if he'll say anything.
I don't think so. Listen, Sean came out and about 2 years ago, and now he is the prime minister of Bali. Right now.
Damn.
Right now. Right now. I think it's like, how long he been? He got the... But he's the,
I don't know.
Is that what they call him? Is the prime minister? Who owns Bali? Who's like...
I don't know.
Oh,
Who do you think are all the exes in this book?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, leader of the opposition.
It was enrolled in 1999 nightclub. I mean, 1999. And then I'm trying to see when he got out. Because he just got out,
But he's the leader in the Belize House of Representatives.
Yeah. And so, like, literally from...
I mean, good for him. From what I can't find anything. So from what I found or haven't found, it doesn't look like he actually did anything. It was just with the wrong people at the wrong time.
Yeah, he did. He was sentenced 10 years in prison. And he came out October 2019. And he's already the prime minister, the House of Representatives in Belize. How?
Yeah, but part of me is like, okay, so... I don't... Based on everything, it didn't seem like he actually, had involvement or did anything. I don't know. Maybe if people saw him with the gun, did he...
What?
Did people say they saw him with the gun shoot?
No, they said... They said between... The rumor story is between J-Lo or Diddy. Either J-Lo did it or Diddy did it, or J-Lo handed Diddy the gun to do it. But between one of them two, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, even there's like the witnesses.
So hopefully he got there on the straight and narrow of people realizing that and not like them being like, ooh, you did something, so come on over here and let's corrupt something. Yeah. Like, hopefully that means he's in with a good crowd now. It's not going to get him into any situations like that.
Right. And I doubt it would. I just think that what it was I just think that it was... I just don't trust any government anywhere. I just think that it was just a situation of circumstances that worked out in everybody's favor. You know what I'm saying? I do believe Diddy was on some, you do this, you take this bid. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it, 10 years, okay. You sit down for 10 years, and when you come out, you ain't got to worry about nothing. Matter of fact, when you come out, you're going to be House of Representatives of the whole country.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. I bet he will never speak out.
He never speak out. Listen, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, especially if you lawyer in that way, and then on some street code shit, you're gonna do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna be paid. Okay, bet I'll be paid, especially because you're in a different country, and depending on how much he got paid in this country, that could be, even if he said, okay, cool, I give you 10 million. Now you in Belize, that 10 million, that you might be a billionaire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Something crazy. So it's like, would you do it? Would you know what I'm saying? It's like that. Like, you really think like, okay, if I take the rap for somebody for 10 years, I come out and pretty much be a millionaire.
It's like, well, what's the alternative? You don't take the rap and you die? Like, so...
And maybe.
Like, it's hard. That's like an impossible choice where it feels like you don't actually have a choice.
Right, but at the same time, and a lot of times you don't, but at the same time on some street stuff, it's kind of a common thing. You know what I'm saying? You got folks on the team, and their job and position is to take that bid if something go down. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, what you do is you do protect your moneymaker. Or what you should do. A lot of people don't, and that's a lot of young boys need to learn. You gotta protect your moneymaker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but protect your moneymaker. Like I said, you sit down, you take the charge. Lord.
And that's why a lot of times they don't like unalive people themselves because they always need someone else to take the fall for it. They can't be the one to take the fall.
Right. And he found him a fall guy. You know, and like I said, where he at now, it worked out. You know what I'm saying? Because you still got your life. You know what I'm saying? You still got your freedom now, and you paid up, and you probably doing better than you would if you would have kept the rapper, especially the way his deals was. You know what I'm saying? You definitely got a better bargain.
Yeah, because no record label would take you after that anyways if you were even still breathing.
Right. Right. And like I said, most things, situations, jobs you wouldn't have got. Like I said, that's what I said. Like 2019 to 2024, you know what I'm saying? House of Representatives, you know what I'm saying? Representing the whole country, like.
Yeah. How fast did he? When did he join the House of Reps? And also, if there's anything else you want to share, I know there's going to be 5 million things I think of after, but we're about to wrap it up. I just want to know who all the exes are. People in the comments were saying Snoop Diggy Dogg.
Yeah, they said. Yeah, I saw they mentioned him, but with the circumstances, it didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't. I didn't see where.
Because also, who would be with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett?
Right, and I didn't see that for. I don't be seeing that for Snoop, especially because again, it's like you never seen in these past all these years, you never really seen Diddy and Snoop ever really. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why would they be together? It bet you never see them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't think he was. I didn't think he was him.
Yeah.
I felt like it was either.
Hope and pray it's not him.
I thought maybe my bodyguard, because when the first kind of pages, she was like, her first time he picked her up, the person driving the car, whatever, opened the door, and she said something like, "But it wouldn't be my last time or interactions with whoever that driver, that person was."
Yeah.
So she mentioned them, but she never mentioned them like by name, and then she never mentioned them. She never really brought them back up again, as far as that I noticed or picked up on.
I wonder if Will and Jada will ever say anything.
I doubt that, but I figured that. That was one I figured because I look at people, I look at situations, I look at read between the lines of a lot of things, and I've always felt like especially when it always came to the Pac stuff and her or whatever, I've always felt like she, because I had heard rumors. I had already heard rumors before that Will might have been doing his thing. I've heard that. Even in his book, he was like, there was points where he was like, he was having so much sex, it was making him throw up, is what he said in the book. Right? But,
oh my God.
But I don't, so I be putting little pieces together, right? So he made it seem, he made it seem like, it's a lot of women and stuff, but I personally think it was the other, you know what I'm saying? And that's why you couldn't look at, because you're like, you used to see me make him throw up. I just feel like if you're doing those kind of wild escapades, you know what I'm saying, all kind of things, it probably would. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that makes more sense.
Plus drugs.
And probably some drugs. Yeah. For sure. But I did felt like she never, or at some point, first like the last few years, all the whole thing is going on, entanglements and all this, you just got that sense that she didn't respect him. And so I've always wondered, to me, why she wouldn't respect him. And I feel like if you look at their story, I be dissecting a lot of stuff. You look at their story, how they met. She wanted the kind of manly man. You can tell that's what she likes, a male assertive man. That's why she was always kind of probably like Pop. It was infatuated with him because he's assertive in that way.
And he in this book very clearly was like, I am not having sex with a man ever. That's disgusting. Goodbye. Which it's not disgusting, but that's how he felt. Right. And he wasn't going to be forced to do something he didn't want to do. And I have respect for that because like everybody's sexuality is what they like is for them. Like it's not anybody else's to tell you what to do. Which is why I do feel like, again, the latter was always for Pac in that way too, because he stood on it. The man. That's what she really want. So what happened was, Will said, they talk about how they met. Will went to her and basically was like, kind of, you single thing? And she was like, yeah. And then he was basically like, not anymore, right? Type of thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm your man now, sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? What she thought was great. Because again, a woman who wants a certain man, but we know for real, for what we know about Will Smith, that's not really Will's character. That's not really him. Like, maybe he was just in a cocky moment because you young, you getting all the success now, so you get a little cocky. You know what I'm saying? I can have whatever. I choose you, but that's not really him for real. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like she felt for that, thinking it was him, and then not. So then what happened was they got together, dated. They was like happy soon. She didn't get pregnant. That's why they got married. You know what I'm saying? So they never really solidified a relationship for real. That was built off of like true love, who they really are. Because otherwise, I feel like if she didn't get pregnant, they probably wouldn't have got together, because they probably would have realized we really not compatible for each other. Number one. But that situation happened. They trying to do the right thing. We had already had a kid for somebody else. So now he's like, okay, this is my second one. I want to do this one right. So they might have tried. But I think by the time it happened where she probably, whatever the situation was or encounter was, even if she was there, I do think that for her to see him in those kind of compromising positions is what led to her not ever
respect for him because it's like, you know, I can't see my man, especially like so I gotta have a man and see him in various positions, you know what I'm saying? So but of course we already in this because of course we, you know, and of course
it's public, right, and that's the whole thing.
Well, she was saying too, you know, they were sharing rooms and so they were doing, you know.
Yeah, they were getting their needs met in other places. But that's why I really wonder if before the infamous punching, if they had a fight about like, you never stand up for me, like you don't like I wonder if she ever brings up, like, if Pac was here, like, he would have done this and that. Right, and putting that in his head. And then that's why he probably felt justified in how he reacted. Right. Plus, he probably was intoxicated to some point. And, you know, who knows? They might have had a fight right before they walked in the room. Right. Or during the award show. You never know.
Right.
So it takes just something small like that that has already been built up for them,
especially
to be
because
big.
You know, I mean, he does have that name. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, you know, for the most part, everybody love Will for real, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? For real, like we stand for Will Smith for real. You know what I mean? So it's like their opinion, her eyes. And she said it too. You know, even when that whole situation happened with the whole, not the tape, but the whole like maybe it was the slap, but I think it was maybe the August thing too. I think it was the August thing too. You know. I think she said,
the slap, actually. It's not even a punch.
Yeah, she made some statement like that, like, oh, you know, you can't, you know, tarnish, you know, our poor Will, and, you know, he can't do no wrong. And in the eyes of people, because, you know, we grew up with him for real. Like,
I think that's why he got such a harsh punishment for that. And because I don't think he should have gotten 10 years of not going back.
And a lot of his past roles, too, like, he even said himself, like, I was you know, a lot of my past roles, I've been the bad guy because everybody always see me as the good guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure.
And like the throne must fall. Yeah, like nobody can be like a perfect person. Right. So the pressure of like, you're perfect, you're nice all the time, you do no wrong, like you respect people, you're amazing, you're always funny, you're always on it. Like that pressure, and people expect you to be that way in real life at every moment.
It's tough. Right.
While everyone's watching you because everyone knows your name. Like that's a lot.
It's a lot. It is a lot. Which I can see why he, you know, probably needed those moments too to, you know, I guess get that too. You know, whatever, you know.
Black out from his real life.
Yeah, you know, I mean, all the, you know, it's crazy, you know, the things that, the pressures that they have to deal with, you know, period. But I do think, you know, again, we start getting to places of like abuse and all the weird stuff. Because what got me to it, I'm going to say this to my last point, before I know we got to go, but I did want to make a statement about it because she said it, and I thought the most weirdest thing to me was the chapter about like when she had their son. That to me was like the most...
About choosing the name?
No. Everything that happened surrounding that to me was like the weirdest thing, because basically what she said was like, basically like, or what the book says, I don't know, allegedly, whatever, but she broke to him the news that she was pregnant. And she was like, surprisingly, you know, he was actually happy, took it better than she thought. But then, like, she was like, the first thing he did was like, got on his phone and she said, call his friend Will. I don't know if it's the same Will that we all know, or maybe a different Will, but I'm assuming it's the same Will. But, you know, called his friend Will and told him the news and that, and then kind of came back to her, was like, oh my God, this is so, you know, great news, and oh my gosh. And then proceeded to say, the amount of people that's going to want you now,
I know,
was the most disgusting
and telling her that she's going to have sex with all her friends before she delivers.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Or with all his friends.
Yeah. Like, it was crazy. Like, he's like, you know how much money we going to make? Like, all of it. Like,
yeah, that's what he was excited about, not having a child. Yeah. He was excited about, like, pimping out his wife.
Right. You know, and there's certain, you know, things, and, you know, we talk about, you know, because I guess she said maybe voodoo. Some people may say, you know, I mean, Illuminati ritual or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Some of those, you know what I'm saying? A lot of those things. So he was like that. Like, you do this, then it's going to put us, you know what I'm saying? Because there's levels to that, right? And so you do this, and it's going to put us at higher levels. And he told her, you want this lifestyle? You like this lifestyle? This is what we need to do. So we because he like, this will solidify us in our lifestyle, you know, and then, you know, and then having to do it and engage him. I think that's just so crazy, because she was like, dang it, like, she was sick to thought about, like, I'm 9 months pregnant and you got me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was just insane.
So you're going to be hurting and sick and like all these things.
you imagine being 9 months pregnant? I mean, and that's just so weird because it's like I don't know. Because I think that's his first kid. I think that's Diddy's first kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like your first.
And now, like, she picked a name Christian to, like, not have the devil's hand on him and protect him in some way. And, like, he doesn't even go by Christian. He goes by King.
Oh, yeah.
King Combs.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, that's, like, apparently the one thing he wanted for her, and he doesn't even go by it.
Right.
And I guarantee you, Diddy got him to call himself King.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, put the lifestyle on him, you might be next.
Because also, King sounds much more powerful than Christian.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like, you want to be on top.
Right. And if you want him to be your heir, your son, so of course you're going to instill that in, especially because you already got that God complex yourself. So of course you're going to feed it to your son, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's looking at himself like God and Jesus situation.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You're going to be next up. You next in the throne, and I want you to follow me. And like I say, I don't even want to, that's what it really said, because, he got allegations and stuff himself. He got sexual charges himself. Somebody with a boat, apparently he drugged a girl, allegedly got a girl drunk on a boat and he was like supposed to be
But that's the eyes thing I'm talking about. Like for real, he got just a twinge in his eyes. Quincy does, but King has that when someone smiles but not with their eyes, and you can see that it's just kind of blank. Mm-hmm. That shit's scary.
It's scary.
And Diddy has it hardcore. His son has it just a little.
Yeah.
He's like full blank. When he gave his apology, that I couldn't see a single ounce of a soul inside there. And that's why I didn't believe it. And people can't hide it. They can try.
Right.
You can't hide it.
The eyes report the soul for a reason.
Yeah.
Man. They tell you, for real. And his always looked dark and hollow. A long time. Mm-hmm. A long time.
That's why he kept them glasses on, too. I guarantee you. If he doesn't realize, he might have been blaming the drugs, but it worked out for him that he wore the glasses for so long and we didn't catch on.
Right, because we're keeping it, but it's one of those things too, though. Why now? People speculate that too. Why now? You've been doing this thing. You've been actively doing this for years, for decades, and nobody's ever said a word.
And
nobody said a word. Nobody nobody. But then all of a sudden now.
But the culture has changed. Like, people want to know the truth, and they want to know that the people that they look up to, that they take their children to concerts, they go and invest all this money and time and energy into, aren't horrible fucking monsters. Right. They want to know that they're at least somewhat good. The pressure is there for them to be perfect, but if they are good and treat people nicely and don't assault people and don't unalive people, like, that's what people want.
Yeah.
Which is not much to ask for.
Right. Especially, again, as a celebrity and, again, a role model that you're supposed to be.
Exactly.
Because you got the platform. Not that because I don't believe that, that these celebrities have to be your role model, whatever the case may be. But you have a platform where you can be a role model, and you do have, have people who will look up to you, regardless if you want people to look up to you or not. Yeah. But people will, And so that is a responsibility. I'm not telling people to be fake. I'm not telling people to go to Will Smith approach in that way, like we talked about, and try to be so perfect. But like I said, don't do those. Just don't be like I said, if you. Everybody has their kink. Everybody has their thing. So if you out here and you want to, give it and put it in whatever hole and crevice that's totally your business. Yes. And that you have every right. You know what I'm saying? So the parties and freak offs they have every right. Yeah. But by the time you're drugging people to do it, you're threatening people to do it. They talking about potentially underage people doing it. Yeah. His charges is trafficking. Across, state lines, and all. All
when consent is not there or able to be given, that's when it's a problem. Anything you want to do sexually, do you. Right. Like, that is cool, but you have to get verbal consent, like, all along the way, honestly. Because even if you're in a relationship with somebody, that doesn't mean they owe you sex. Right, like, absolutely. You have to talk, and you have to openly say it, and then also consent really can't be given even if you say yes if you were under the influence of drugs or alcohol or there's a huge power dynamic.
Absolutely.
And he did both. Allegedly. But I really think it's the truth.
Allegedly. Right. Allegedly. You know, like I said, you know, I will say, again, everybody does get their due date. You know, it's how right. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, in court, get a trial. And like I said, all these things will come out. All these things will, you know, because like you say, you know, and I believe that's so true. You know, what's done in the dark will come to the light. And a lot of people in the 90s and stuff, and how these issues believed at one point that they were untouchable, that they were, you know, like I said, pretty much God, you know. And I love the fact, again, like what this judge did and saying no, because that's what he thought. I be powerful enough, I get enough money, I can buy and do whatever I want. For 30 years, he lived under that notion until this judge said, it don't matter, no. And I know that he was like the sickest day. I know he was sick. I'm pretty sure he didn't never talk about that.
No.
He never thought that his money wouldn't work. You know what I mean? And so I'm sure he was...
It was like 30 million or something crazy, right?
50 million.
Or 50?
50 million.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even what the judge, you know, he brought that to the judge. I said, yo, we willing to pay a $50 million bond. And the judge like, nah, we good. And I love that. I love it because it shows him that, like, even if nothing else happens, it shows him, like, yo, you're not as big as you believed you was. And the whole time you tell people, yo, you the boss. Because he said, you know, people talk about, yo, he came in, you know, say, I'm the boss. I can do what I want to do. I'm da 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 da.
Yeah, you know, this day and age, you can't do that.
As the book even said, you know, he said he the big dick. You know, you feel me? It's like, and now you a big dick again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I guess he'll be living his dream in some way.
Right, that's what I say. Because somebody, you know,
I was wondering if he's like gotten it on with anybody, or if he's holding himself back because of all this.
Maybe so. Maybe trying not to, because it's one thing to be like, give it, but he gonna get it. You know, somebody ain't gonna, you know, especially because again, you talking about things potentially with kids and stuff. Oh, but it depends on what he do too, which I think is gonna suck because he has two choices. He can say, you know, he be in, you know, general population, or he could say, you know, I would want to be excluded, but being excluded mean, you know, kind of being like in the whole type of thing. But, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's gonna do that, which means he would have to then, of course, say general population, and then that's when. You know, but I think depending on what comes out with the case,
if the kids' things get confirmed, then he will have hell in jail. Because people could do whatever they want, whatever kind of crimes. If someone touches a kid, or sometimes a woman, then they get their ass handed to them in jail.
So I guess he gonna be take that.
That's one thing I'm like, I don't respect a lot of other things that like really intense criminals do, but I love that they like really don't fucking play around with pedophiles in jail. I love that.
I do love it too. More of it.
I'm like, they deserve hell, honestly.
Yeah, agreed.
And I don't wish that on many people, but sexually assault, pedophile, or unalive someone, and it's literally has nothing to do with them trying to unalive you first.
Yep. I said it too.
I'm done. If it was intentional, no.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I'm out.
I don't know. You know, you guys, you know,
he lucky I ain't on the jury. That's all I'm saying.
No, for real though.
I'd be fighting for the big.
Hey, they talk about a quick trial for real. I can see it now.
I get dismissed from the first question of like, do you automatically believe victims? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah. So I'm trying to tell you. It'd be so crazy though. I'm talking about it'd be so. Okay, the jury is going to deliberate. Leave and then circle back around.
I try to be the head juror. I try to be the one like telling you.
I was trying to say it with their chest. Say it with their chest. We the jury.
Yeah,
loud and bold.
Looking dead in his eyes.
Find the defendant.
Oh, guilty of everything. Allegedly.
I
didn't even get to share my dream, but we're going on too long.
Okay,
so.
We might have to do an episode about dreams or something.
Yeah, let me know if you want to hear this dream, because I did have a nightmare about Diddy.
Yeah, it was so crazy.
Wow. It keeps on replaying on my mind because it was so graphic. Yeah. Like, I don't even think I told you everything, but yeah. So if you want to hear that, if that sounds fun.
Yeah, that sounds fun. She did tell me it was crazy for a dream. Crazy.
But yeah.
But it's good. So listen, you know, we gonna keep y'all posted. Y'all keep us posted. We gonna all be watching this thing, figure out how it unfolds, and I think that more things are going to come out. And again, the book is on Amazon. I'm gonna do a plug. You know, when I get paid for plugs, but I do want to say that if these are her words, and I want whoever to get whatever, however, so definitely get on Amazon. Things like $20.
Yeah.
Kim's Lost Words: A Journey for Justice from the Other Side by Jamal T. Mildwood for Kimberly A. Porter. And again, if this is all fiction, I've been telling people too, I was like, if it is still fiction, this has been the best read I've read, I said, since the Harry Potter series. This thing was a page turner, okay? Listen, y'all.
I hope with everything it's fiction, but I feel like it's not. And that's what made me so, I was like, just every single page, just like hurting. My body was hurting.
I said it. And I did give it a disclaimer. I said, listen, before you read it,
I know.
I'm gonna give you all the triggers. I'm telling you every last one of them.
Thank you.
It's a lot, Bo.
It's
a lot. Because it was like every page was just got worse.
Yeah.
Like sometimes sentences that was getting worse. It's like, golly, I'm still trying to recoup from the last paragraph. Like, golly, it's a lot, y'all. It's a lot.
Right.
So check it out. It's an easy, quick little read. Really good though.
And any of our laughing is just coping, and I hope y'all know that by now,
right?
Because it's not funny at all. But I promised myself, well, I didn't promise it because I wasn't sure, but my goal was not to cry this episode. So Gamey, I didn't cry. So that turns into
look, Mom, she didn't cry.
Yeah. And I talked about some serious and emotional.
Right. Look,
yeah. Okay. Well, thank y'all for being here. Please do the research on your own. Tell us what you think. It's we're all sharing opinions. None of us have full facts until there is video evidence of everything. Mm-hmm. So, I'd like to hear from y'all. Want to know what y'all think, what you found. Share your resources with us, please. Because even if we don't do another episode on this, which we could, but either way, I want to know what is going on. Like, especially since Gandhi, I'm just like, I need to do more research on people that I love and admire. And I swear if anything happens with Hillary Duff, I don't know, I'm going to lose my mind.
Right, please not Hillary.
Because literally, I feel like since I was 3, I've had a crush on her. And I was like, she can never do no wrong. So if she ever does wrong, I'm going to cry so hard.
Yeah, right, please.
Y'all, that episode won't exist. I'll just be boo-hooing the whole time, unable to talk. So,
one of the good ones left.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to believe it.
I'm hoping. We'll see. Keep us posted on what you find out about not only Diddy, but everyone that's a celebrity and doing some crazy mess. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, we're normally having a super blast. Today was heavy. Thank you for being here with us. Mm-hmm. I hope that, we're handling triggering events in a way that doesn't make you feel upset or angry or triggered.
Right.
And
absolutely. And of course, you never want to, make false statements on any man, or influence anybody's belief in him or not. But again, do your research. Again, we we don't know until the transcripts and stuff, and come out. Whatever happens with this case, and who knows? It could be on for a long journey.
Yeah.
The thug case already is going active for like 100-something days, and so it could be speedy or it could be a long one. But either way, I think we would all say all the world's going to be watching. For real. And I really do say that for real though. I do hope, one way or another, that Diddy does come out of this. Still regardless whole and healed in that way, like saying that nobody does any harm to her, like even if he found guilty, whatever the case may be, let him do his time, let him
I hope he learns and grows and changes into a different person from these alleged encounters.
Exactly. So to his family, to his fans, supporters, all the things, unless he may have left, and then of course RP to a great one, Kimberly A. Porter. Her legacy may be lived, and may her legacy also, be be about the good that she did, the things she brought, the entertainment she gave, you know, and again, not this part or this chapter of her life, And
I hope her kids, including King, Christian, find healing and have good support systems. Because I can't imagine going through what they're going through right now.
Especially because you see these things and read these things, you know about your mom, and so that was tough for all of them. But hey, man, only blame one person. So hey, they, at the end of the day, themselves can only look and talk to one person about it. Everything they feeling, you gotta look at him about it. Hey, so. Hey, we can just speculate.
I hope they find their answers and are able to heal from it.
Absolutely.
So. All right. Yes. That's what we got for y'all today.
Yeah. Heavy this is, man.
Yeah. And we hope that Teddy's breathing wasn't too intense. But we'll catch y'all next time. Okay.
Okay, love you.
Bye. Bye.